NASA says its Voyager 1 probe, the most distant human-made object in the universe, is sending usable information.
Minutes ago, Neil deGrasse Tyson announced a huge find. Voyager 1 spotted 500-odd objects far in space, flipping our understanding of the cosmos. It turns out, space is packed with unknowns, not empty as we thought. What are these strange objects? Tune in as we dive deep into this space mystery and uncover what's really out there. Voyager 1's huge find. NASA's space probe, launched way back in 1977, marks a huge step forward in our efforts to explore space. It's the farthest human-made object from Earth, currently over 14 billion miles away, and it's still sending back important information. Recently, the famous astrophysicist shared exciting news. The probe has found more than 500 new objects in space. This has sparked a lot of excitement among scientists and raised plenty of new questions about what might be out there beyond what we already know. Just as scientists celebrated, Voyager 1 detected a strange, unknown signal that could change our understanding of the universe. The information coming from these objects is changing how we think about space. Scientists are learning more about what they're made of, where they're headed, and where they might have come from. Are they leftovers from ancient star systems? Could they be planets that got kicked out of their homes? Each discovery brings new questions, which are making us rethink how galaxies and stars form and move. But that's not even the most surprising part. Some of these objects might be rogue planets, worlds that got pushed out of their star systems. This tells us that these wandering planets could be much more common than we thought. If true, it would change how we understand how planets form and how stars and their systems work together. These discoveries aren't just adding to what we know, they're making us reconsider many of our assumptions about what's out there in the space between stars. Right now, scientists are busy studying the data to figure out what these newly discovered objects are and where they came from. This could lead to a fresh understanding of how interstellar space works and its part in the universe's life cycle. It's also pushing the conversation forward about what kind of space missions we'll need next. Advanced technology will be key to helping us explore these mysteries even more. The announcement could be the start of a whole new phase in space exploration. As we keep receiving and studying more data from the probe, we could be on the edge of breakthroughs that might completely change how we understand the universe and its history. And the best part? This is just the beginning. There are so many more mysteries waiting for us to uncover in the vast reaches of space. But that's not even the biggest part. The real impact is what this could mean for future space travel. If space is full of these objects, future missions will need to plan for the risks and opportunities they present. The announcement about this has sparked new conversations about how little we still know. Even with all the technology and knowledge we have about the universe, there's still so much mystery. The probe continues to be a trailblazer, expanding what we know and showing us that the universe still has plenty of surprises. These unknown objects are at the heart of human curiosity, pushing us to rethink what we know. Another interesting angle is the philosophical side. For centuries, humans have looked up at the stars wondering what's out there. The idea that unknown objects are drifting through interstellar space fills us with awe and wonder, reminding us how vast the universe is and how small our part in it might be. Tyson, who's great at making science exciting, points out that discoveries like these fuel our desire to explore and learn more about the cosmos. This new finding could even shape the way we think about humanity's future in space. As we plan for human exploration of deep space, it's essential to understand the environment we're heading into. If space isn't as empty as we once thought, future missions might need to consider these objects. This could change how we navigate and design spacecraft, possibly requiring better protection or new systems to detect and avoid collisions. But the implications don't stop there. The discovery is also important for astrobiology. If these objects are leftovers from ancient star systems, they might have materials that could help us learn what's needed for life elsewhere in the universe. Even if they aren't directly connected to life, they might still offer important clues about the different chemical elements and compounds that exist out there. By studying what these objects are made of, scientists might get a better understanding of the chances for life beyond Earth and what kinds of environments could support it. The discovery of these 500 unknown objects isn't just another scientific find. It's a powerful reminder of how much we still have to learn. Each object offers a chance to test and improve what we know about space, which up until now has mostly been based on theory. But wait, there's more. Scientists used to think that interstellar space was mostly empty, with just some occasional gas and cosmic dust floating between stars. However, what the probe found suggests something very different. If space is filled with these unknown bodies, it could mean that the structure of the universe is far more complicated than we ever imagined. This could change how we think about things like how galaxies form, how we travel through space, and even the long-term stability of the universe itself. These objects also raise fascinating questions about how they interact with larger cosmic forces, like the pull of gravity from nearby stars or even black holes. Next, we learn how hidden parts in space help shape our galaxy and the stars we see at night. How invisible parts shape our galaxy. Dark matter is an invisible substance that makes up a large part of the universe's mass. Scientists believe it might affect the paths of stars and galaxies. Until recently, we didn't have much information about the space between stars, so researchers used theories to guess how things work out there. Now, with the discovery of new objects in space, scientists have actual data to help prove or challenge their ideas about how matter moves in these distant areas. These objects are more than just floating rocks. They give us a glimpse into the history of our galaxy. Some might have come from faraway star systems, thrown into the empty space between stars by powerful forces like gravity, or explosions such as supernovas. Others could be leftovers from old planetary systems that have broken apart, leaving behind only these wandering fragments. And some may have formed slowly over billions of years from the basic materials floating around in space. By studying how old these objects are and what they're made of, scientists hope to learn more about the forces that have shaped our galaxy over its 13 billion-year history. The data sent back about these mysterious objects is still being studied, but it's already clear that these discoveries are important. Each of these objects could hold clues to our galaxy's untold history, and by learning more, we can piece together what happened in the Milky Way long ago. But that's not the only exciting thing. These findings could help answer big questions about how galaxies grow and how stars, planets, and other space objects are scattered across space. The recent reminder by a well-known astrophysicist shows us that we know very little about what lies beyond our solar system. The discovery of these unknown objects suggests that the space between stars might be filled with debris from ancient star systems or even lost planets that we haven't discovered yet. This might also lead to entirely new fields of study. For example, these objects could tell us more about the chemical makeup of the universe. If some of these bodies come from destroyed star systems, studying them might reveal how different elements formed and spread across space. The ability to analyze these objects might lead to breakthroughs in understanding how the building blocks of the universe are distributed throughout the galaxy. This discovery could even impact the search for life beyond Earth. While it's unlikely that life exists on these wandering objects, they might carry organic compounds or other materials that hint at conditions where life could exist elsewhere in the universe. Even though the idea of life surviving on rogue planets or drifting space rocks is a stretch, finding molecules like amino acids could give a boost to the search for life. If these objects are pieces of old planets or moons, they might hold traces of atmospheres or environments that once supported life. This changes the game for future space exploration. As we plan missions beyond our solar system, recognizing and understanding these unknown objects becomes important. Future spacecraft will need sensors to detect and avoid these objects to ensure safe travel. This discovery could also influence the design of new space probes. Even though the probe wasn't built to find or study interstellar objects, it made one of the most important discoveries in modern space exploration. But wait, there's more. This might push NASA and other space agencies to create probes with better detection tools for future missions. These future probes could carry advanced sensors to study these objects in more detail, like their composition, path, and origin. In the long run, these unknown objects could become targets for future expeditions. With advancing technology, we might even send missions to land on larger bodies and explore their surface and history up close. These objects could mark the start of a new age of exploration beyond our solar system, allowing us to learn more about the galaxy as a whole. With the right technology, future missions could give us a clearer picture of how these objects formed and their role in the vast universe. Another intriguing part of this discovery is how it challenges what we know about how planets and other celestial bodies behave. If these objects are pieces of old planetary systems or rogue planets, studying them could reveal new details about how planets are born, change, and eventually break apart. But this might not be the last discovery. Scientists hope that by learning more about the paths and characteristics of these objects, they can develop a better understanding of how planets and moons form and what happens to them when they are ejected from their original systems. This could lead to a more complete theory of the life cycle of planets and other celestial bodies. When the probe spotted these far-off objects, it not only gave us new knowledge, but also raised big questions about how gravity and cosmic forces work. As these objects move through the vast space between stars, they might give us clues about how gravity behaves between stars, galaxies, and other massive things. Some of them might be pulled by the gravity of nearby stars or even black holes. Understanding their movements could help scientists figure out how mass is spread across our galaxy. This could open the door to new discoveries about how the universe is built and how it grows. The astrophysicist pointed out how this discovery sparks fresh interest in what lies beyond what we can currently see. While finding these objects is exciting on its own, it also hints that there could be even more unknown things in the farthest reaches of space. This could be the start of a new chapter in space exploration, helping scientists dig deeper into the universe and uncover new facts about how it works. Now, as Voyager 1 shows us new things that make us think differently about the universe. Voyager 1 challenges old theories. The discovery also makes us rethink what we know about space. For hundreds of years, people have studied the universe through observations, experiments, and theories. Yet, these newly found objects remind us how complicated the universe really is, pushing us to question what we thought we knew about space and the way matter and energy are spread out. Even after more than 40 years in space, the probe is still sending back groundbreaking data that changes the way we see the universe. This shows why long-lasting space missions are so important. They keep pushing the limits of what we know. But here's where it gets even more interesting. These findings challenge what we thought about the space between stars, which we assumed was mostly empty, filled with a bit of gas and dust. The discovery of these objects shows that there are other large bodies out there, forcing scientists to come up with new ideas to explain what's happening in interstellar space. These objects are not only many in number, but also very different from each other. They come in all sizes, are made of different materials, and move in unique ways. Some might have been thrown out of their original star systems by gravity, while others could be the leftovers of huge cosmic events like supernovae. Or maybe they formed out in space on their own from gas and dust. Each of these possibilities gives scientists important clues about how celestial bodies form and change across the universe. And that's not the only surprising part. The way these objects move might give us important information about how space works on both large and small scales. If their movements don't match what we expect from our current understanding of gravity, it could mean that dark matter or some unknown form of energy is at play. Studying how they interact with dark matter could give scientists a new way to explore this mysterious part of the universe. An exciting idea coming from all this is that these objects might help us learn more about space-time itself. If their strange paths suggest that space-time isn't as predictable as we once thought, it could completely change how we think about cosmic interactions and even reveal new details about how space and time work together. But this isn't the most intriguing part. If some of these objects are leftovers from when galaxies first formed, they could tell us about what the universe was like right after the Big Bang. By analyzing the elements in these objects, scientists could get a clearer picture of a time in the universe's history that we know very little about. This could help create more accurate models of how the universe started and developed, potentially shaking up current theories and leading to major discoveries about the cosmos. Understanding how galaxies and star clusters form, evolve, and eventually break apart over billions of years is essential for learning more about the universe. By studying the structures of these space objects, scientists can find clues about where the building blocks of life might be spread throughout the cosmos. If these distant clusters contain organic materials or signs of early life, it would suggest that the ingredients for life are more common than we thought. This could change the way we search for life beyond Earth, hinting that places where life might exist are more widespread than we've imagined. But that's not even the most important part. These clusters and galaxies might also help us figure out how life could form in the tough, cold environments of deep space or on lonely planets that have been thrown out of their solar systems. This knowledge would also be critical for the future of human space exploration. If we plan to travel to distant stars, we need to understand the unknown objects out there. Even tiny pieces of space debris can pose a serious threat to spacecraft traveling at high speeds. So, spaceships will need advanced detection systems to spot and avoid these hazards as they journey through the crowded paths of interstellar space. However, these mysterious objects aren't just risks. They might also offer new chances for exploration. Large objects like rogue planets or giant asteroids that have been spotted by space missions could serve as pit stops or even be studied for scientific purposes. They might contain useful materials like water or minerals that could help future space missions. Instead of carrying everything needed for long trips, explorers might be able to rely on the resources found on these distant objects, making space travel easier and more efficient. But there's more to consider. The new discoveries we make about these space objects force us to rethink how we classify them. As we learn more, it becomes clear that the old categories we use, planets, moons, asteroids, and comets, may not be enough. Discoveries made by space probes push us to create new labels for the objects we're finding, similar to the debate in 2006 over Pluto's reclassification as a dwarf planet. What's surprising is that the presence of these objects suggests planetary systems might not be as stable as we once thought. In the past, scientists believed that after a star forms, planets naturally form from leftover dust and gas and stay in their orbits for a long time. But with so many objects being kicked out of their original systems, a more chaotic picture is emerging. Planets and stars might interact in unpredictable ways, changing how we think solar systems evolve and what might happen to planets like Earth in the distant future. And that's not the end of the story. These rogue objects floating through space raise another big question. What happens to them once they're kicked out of their systems? Do they eventually get captured by another star, or do they wander aimlessly through space forever? Some of these objects have been on the move for billions of years, while others may have just recently been ejected and are still close to their original stars. By studying their movements and where they end up, scientists can learn more about how planetary systems change and what forces shape their futures. As scientists continue to analyze data from missions, they're also asking whether these findings are common throughout the galaxy or unique to certain regions. If these rogue objects are everywhere, it would mean that space is much more crowded than we thought, which could impact future space missions and our understanding of how matter is spread across the galaxy. Could these objects challenge the fundamental laws of physics as we know them? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.